Now, a former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, today claimed that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, won the February 25 presidential election. According to Lawal, the election was not won by the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, BolaTinubu, who was declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. He further stated that available factual data, as aggregated from several independent sources, indicated that Obi got the majority votes, while the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, came second in the election. Lawal noted that President Tinubu came a distant third in the number of votes scored. The former SGF, in a statement released today, said, and I read, "I have resisted the temptation to engage in the contemporary political discourse since May 2023 election Fox Power." End quote. He stated that based on the inquiries, a lot of answers needed to be gotten. He also stated that for two reasons, the first being that an active player in the drama, he needed time to analyze and digest the data that led to the outcome so he could arrive at an informed decision. The second being that the rainy season had just set in and it was necessary that he focused his attention to his farms, which were the mainstay of his livelihood. He went further to disclose that the current topical issues for political discourse and inquiry are whether or not BolaTinubu won the presidential election and or that he was, in a priori qualified to participate in the election given his more key buy data as it's now being publicly unveiled daily in an avalanche. He said that my answer to the first inquiry is that regardless of whatever INEC or appeal court said or did, BolaTinubu did not win the election. To talk about this particular disclosure by the ex-secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, I actually have via the telephone Mr. Darlington, who is a political enthusiast, a public affairs commentator as well, also a social commentator, also a legal practitioner. Mr. Darlington, good evening and welcome to the World News at 6 right here on VOP 90.3 FM.
Thank you, Esther. How are you today?
I am fine, thank you so much. So, would you say it is surprising for this expose? It was quite a long one that was, disclosed earlier today by the ex-secretary of the Federation, that is Babachir Lawal. And he's saying that instead of Peter Obi, based on the data released by INEC on how the arrangement of votes gathered from the first, second and third, on INEC's poll, the president came first. That is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, followed by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party came third. Then the fourth person was the new Nigeria People's Party presidential candidate. However, from what we are hearing at this moment, he is saying that instead of Tinubu coming first, Peter Obi was supposed to be first and then Tinubu third. Now, he gave an avalanche of details as to why he thinks Peter Obi was the one that came first. And I want to read further so you can extemporate purposefully on how he gave a breakdown of what he thinks, or rather based on the data he said. So he went further to say that right from the start of the campaigns, BolaTinubu knew he was not going to win the election in a free and fair contest, so he decided to go by all means. Now, I don't know, these are not my words, these are the words of Babachir Lawal, and when this kind of utterances are made, I think it's possible to read in between the lines of what he's basically trying to allude here. Now, he went further to state that actual factual data, as aggregated from several independent sources, indicate that Peter Obi got the majority votes, while Atiku came second and Bola came a distant third in the number of votes scored. He said his answer to the second inquiry is that given the now unfolding deluge of uncomplimentary information about who or what he actually is, ordinarily sound ethics and morality should have convinced him to voluntarily excuse himself from participation in the election. But he said that, but this notwithstanding, I believe he still has time and opportunity to save himself this public humiliation and embarrassment to his person, both locally and internationally, by resigning so that he can give more attention to his health. Based on what Babachir Lawal, what it means to be a former secretary to the government of the Federation, you have a lot of secrets and portfolios based on your handprint. You have it at your disposal. Secret information that may not be released to the press, basically not to create any form of anarchy in the polity, is already at your disposal. So possibly his source of information could be coming from a very valid standpoint. Or what's your take? Would you dispute what he is saying?
Thank you, Esther. I am not surprised.
Why are you not surprised?
In the days to come, more revelations will come concerning this election that INEC conducted. Let me ask you, Esther, are you telling me that Nigerian people don't know what they want? Or all of a sudden, Nigerian people, they have become so back that they can accept anything? Are you telling me that after what Buhari did in office to Nigerians, they will still open their eyes and vote another APC person more to Tinubu into office? Is it possible? We know how Tinubu ran Lagos State here when he was the governor. When you put 2 and 2 together, it will not give you 4 in this particular case. Everybody knows what happened during that election. It's just that they want somebody to say so that they will not say that he wants to cause trouble. No. In the mind of Tinubu and his supporters, he knew what happened. And his conscience will continue to prick him every day. Because it is not possible for APC to have won another election after what they did in office. It is not possible. It is not possible. Even before they conducted that election, I was thinking in other platforms that APC is not planning to win an election. They are planning to lead. And that was what they did. Thank God the people like Babachi Alawal has spoken. I am telling you, in the days to come, more prominent Nigerians will speak out concerning this. Even at a point, what's his name? I'm a chairman. If he has conscience, one day he will apologize to Nigerians for what he did.
But let's Mr. Darlington, let me ask you questions further, because I know you have a lot to say. If I do not come in here, you would continue to go on and on, because it was quite a long one. He divulged quite a lot, and it begs for possibly questions, investigations, and responses are needed. I think Nigerians deserve to get responses when such information come out like this. So he went to give a quote. He said that leadership is all about integrity, sound pedigree, trustworthiness, and the ability to unite and instill hope and confidence in the people one seeks to lead. In these qualities, most Nigerians are in total agreement that Bola has them in very, very short supply indeed. However, 6 months down the line, the chicken has come home to roost, as Nigerians have come to the realization that we have not got what we deserve politically. Confusion and despondency are now all over the nation, as no one trusts the government to do what it says it will do. No one trusts the leader, and no one trusts appointees who are appointed as rewards for the roles in the election or who had in the past helped him in his life. Now, I want to explain something to you, Mr. Darlington. Ever since the CSU certificate debacle came on board, on several occasions on this particular fora, on the news or other political conversations we've had here, I have asked you that is it not possible for the president to come clean and start on a new slate, so that that sense of trustworthiness or the bridge, the vacuum that has been created, or the fence, the wall between him and the people, can be broken down, and then he can trust his government in a sense of translucency. But every day we keep hearing updates. Now, the ex-secretary to the government of the Federation, BolaTinubu, this is a very sensitive information he divulged here. It means that these were people who possibly knew something that a lot of Nigerians did not know. What do you think this portends, and how do you expect the Nigerian Supreme Court to act now that they already have appeals filed to them? How do you think they should act now based on this revelation?
Now, in a country where you have men of integrity, in a country where politics is played according to the rules, you don't need anybody to tell Tinubu to resign. It is not something that somebody needs to prod him. All these shenanigans, all these parabolating, all these delay tactics, it's enough to tell anybody that something is wrong. Babachi Alawal is just validating what some of us have been saying. How can you lead the people when there are no trust in you? How can you lead the people when there is no integrity there? With what Tinubu has done so far, he has exposed himself to many Nigerians, both local and international. People now know him for who he is. So, on what integrity is leading Nigeria now? Can he swear before any God that yes, I merited this position I'm occupying? That is what is important. If you are usurping somebody's position, how can you feel happy there? How can you perform there? All the time he came into office now, he's going down to 6 months now. Esther, what have you seen from from Tinubu? What is that simple thing I say, yes, this man he really wants to lead. He's prepared. Has he not been reversing himself all this while? That will tell you that ab initio, this man is not supposed to lead. He doesn't have the qualification. He doesn't. He was not writing on the back of incubacy of his former boss, Buhari. He wrote on the incubacy that APC was in power, and he took that advantage. In a free and fair election, Tinubu cannot win a local government chairmanship. He cannot. Look at all the things that will make a man to stand before the international community. Does Tinubu have them? Does he have integrity? The morality, is it there? So what are you leading? How can you lead? Nigerians knew all this when he could not come for debate.
All right.
That was why the man said that he knew he would not win the election. That was why he went all out.
All right, Mr. Darlington. So,
yes,
like I told you, it was quite a lot that he divulged. I don't know if the world news time frame will be enough to actually go through all of it. But he actually mentioned some essential points, which is, like I said earlier, begs questioning. He said, during the campaign, Bola mouthed some platitudes about competence, but we are so far yet to see it reflected in his political appointments. It seems more like he is rewarding people who supported him to get the presidency at all costs. This band of appointers that Bola is assembling into his government don't care about Nigeria at all. Fuel prices will continue to gallop upwards until only they can afford it. The naira will continue to race downhill in a free fall until only they can afford anything in the market. Insecurity will continue its escalation until every community in the nation is consumed by it. Now, I want to take you back to the recent appointments that were made by the president. You do recall that the new EFCC chair's appointment has been under serious scrutiny, and it also elicited reactions from diverse quarters. The recent one being the fact that, based on the stipulations or requirements of any EFCC chair to occupy the position, there are some conditions that need to be met, and apparently the conditions were not completely met by the new EFCC chair. Now, what the ex-secretary to the government of the Federation is saying that basically it seems that most of the appointment he has been granting lately has been more of rewarding persons who deliver their words or constituencies during the February 25 elections. I need you to be quite objective in your analysis, not because you have anything personal against the president. I want your objective response to what the man, the ex-secretary of the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, is alluding, in this statement.
It will be difficult for anybody to say otherwise. Remember that the erudite Femi Falana, yesterday, was not there before yesterday, he criticized Tinubu and his appointment. He made it clear that his appointment is lopsided, and that is a Yoruba man, a very responsible Yoruba man for that matter, with conscience. So, anybody who will come today now to say otherwise, that you want to be objective, you want to be neutral, how can you be neutral in a matter like this? Is it possible? You must call a spade here. Answer. We are getting to the point whereby we must call a spade. There is a proverb in my place. They said, when a deity becomes too troublesome, it is reminded of the tree that carved it. It is time for us to call a spade, because if not, this disease will continue in the next 4 years. And it will look at all of us as mumu, like all of us as zombie. You will come into office and you are doing everything to cover what you have done in the past. Is that how to lead? Babachir Lawal is 100% correct. He has privileged information. After all, those of them who were helping him to do all these things, who are helping Tinubu to do it. They are human beings that they have conscience.
All right, Mr. Darlington, do you think Babachir Lawal is vituperating like this because he was not given any political appointment? I mean, his critics, the critics of what he actually divulged here would say it's because the president did not give him any political appointment, and that's basically why he is saying what he is saying.
Please, let us look at the message and leave the message alone. The thing is that what he's saying, is it true or false? Let us look at it. In the first place, going by what we have seen today, going by the revelations from CSU, did the Tinubu qualify to even contest the election? Not to talk of winning. Going by what APC did to Nigerians in the last 8 years, are they supposed to be voted back into power? Going by what happened during the last election, did the APC win that election? These are genuine questions people should ask. Before you start condemning anybody for not giving appointment or getting appointment, the people that he gave appointment, do you think that they are even happy? Their conscience is flooding them day and night.
All right, we'll soon be running out of time. So based on what Babachir Lawal divulged, do you think the DSS would invite him for questioning as to where he got his data from? What gives him the possibly authoritative stance to divulge what he divulged, that Peter Obi came first and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came a distant third? I don't know if you understand what Babachir Lawal is alluding here. He's alluding vote rigging from all he has divulged in his statement today. He's alluding, or rather alleging, that the president rigged the elections. He's alleging that INEC helped the president to rig elections, if you understand his interpretation here. So do you think the DSS should invite him for questioning and ask him questions as to where he got the authenticity of the information he's divulging and where he got the information that he knows what he is saying at this time?
Elsa, I will advise the DSS or anybody not to make that mistake, because if they do, they will open a can of worms. I am telling you, they will open a can of worms. I hope they will do that and allow the man to speak openly, not to take him inside the room and force him to renounce what he said. If they probe that man, if they probe him further, he will reveal a lot of things. I am telling you. Look, one thing I know about Northerners in politics, they are very straightforward though. They don't care. Whenever you touch their conscience, they will speed the bill. Look at Bawa, the former EFCC chairman. Throughout his detention in the EFCC, he was so stubborn, he could not even write a statement. They got tired of him and asked him to resign, and he resigned and left. Why didn't they take him to court? They are afraid of what he's going to say, because I know that guy is very, very stubborn. He would have revealed a lot of things. That is the Northerner for you. So if they want to go and do gra-gra, that man will rope everybody, even those who did all these things, because it is human being that did all those things.
But Mr. Darlington, these are serious allegations that Babachir Lawal is actually alleging here. So if he is invited for questioning, wouldn't he be asked where he got his source of information? Because we do know that Mahmoud Yakub is organizing elections in 3 states. A couple of critics have asked why he is organizing elections when we're not done with the presidential and possibly governorship elections that was just concluded, and why he is still actually the INEC chair. So the question being that if the DSS on other occasions have been able to invite any other person who seems to have validly or supposedly brazenly spoken against the government, do you think they will invite Babachir Lawal to answer questions?
They are not helping anybody by inviting people who criticize this government. What this government have done so far is enough for criticism. They are not helping matters at all. They are not. They should not even make that mistake. The thing is, look at the message. What people are saying, is it true? The election was condemned by international community who came here to observe that election. The election was condemned by majority of Nigerians. On what basis will this man continue? If not that the election favored Tinubu, and Tinubu is now in power. So he wants him to continue that thing he did for him, so that APC will win all the states. Is that not the only reason? Even what's his name, the INEC chairman, he has been expecting somebody to sack him. The man has been expecting somebody to sack him, but he's still there just because they want want him to continue for what he's doing for them. Are we going to wait until this is now turn to we no go agree? We no go agree. Is that what the DSS are? Instead of them to look at the issues, they keep inviting people. What are you inviting people for? Are even DSS, are they happy with where Nigeria is now? Are they happy?
I just
this nonsense that is going all over the place now. Is that what you want Nigeria to go through in the next 4 years? So let's nobody be deceived. The mess is too much. I don't even know how we are going to clean up ourselves. That is the issue. It's not about inviting anybody. What the man is saying, does he have it in the eye of the public? Is it true? That is the question. I have asked you 4 questions in here. Does the APC need to go back to power after what they did with Buhari in 8 years? Let somebody answer that question. Then you now tell me how Nigerians will now vote APC back. No, so for somebody like Tinubu, who did not come for debate, who has so many things that nobody knows about. Is that the right person? So when you look at all this, how can you not say that anybody who is criticizing this government is not being fair?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Can anybody be?
Thank you, Mr. Darlington.